In 2012, I released an album called Love and Desolation, which was a major homage to the music of the 80s.
Yeah! Oh, I'm gonna get it right.
Until then, I had hated that kind of music. I thought it was cheesy, I thought the production was overdone, but around that time, something just clicked and I fell in love with it. I loved its purity and its optimism, and that it wasn't afraid to take emotion to 11. That's 11 out of 10, just to clarify, in case some of you thought I meant 11%, which is a lesser amount. So I fully embraced these sounds and these vibes, and I crafted this album that I have always said is fully sincere while at the same time being fully ironic. And I don't know how that works, but that's how it is. I'm soundtracking this segment of the video with track 3, Never Look Back, and our first adventure today is going to be meeting someone who was inspired to get some of this song's lyrics and the album art tattooed on her. So let's go. P.S. We're in London. So, we are headed to meet Stacy, who's a fan that I met here when I was touring the UK in 2014. All right, I didn't do a good job of explaining here, and also, yo, I do not need your judgment, but Stacy is a fan who I met years ago when I was touring the UK and playing to like 30 to 50 people, and I still remembered her when she reached out, I guess about a year ago now, asking if I could write some of my lyrics so that she could get them tattooed on her in my handwriting. So that's, like, as a songwriter, I still haven't even processed that feeling of a song meaning that much to someone. No words. So Stacy got back in touch after it was done, which was just a couple months ago, and I knew that I was gonna be passing through London, so I said, let's just meet up. I wanna see it in person. That's what this was about. Hi! I gotta see this. There's me.
I never look back. I'm not holding on.
Every lyric in that song as I was listening to it just resonated with me and got me through it, really. The idea that there would be a time where I would be able to say I never look back and I'm not holding on.
Been to the bottom of the abyss. I know that it's so dangerous.
We are on our way to Brighton. This is Greg. This is Matt. Have I ever told you guys you really brightened my day?
Oh, thank you. Oh.
So in Brighton, I had my first time hands-on with video modular synthesis, which is amazing and also just like, great, another obsession for me to drain my bank account with. Also, I met some viewers. So I'm realizing I never explained the purpose of this trip, but all of this stuff so far in the UK just kind of fell into place. This is actually just an extended stopover, and where I'm really going is Montreux. To continue my explanation, Shure brought me out here for the Montreux Jazz Festival. I just checked into the hotel, and take a look at this view. That's just outside my window. I'm dead. I'm done. So last night was dope. That was a Massive Attack concert we were at. I also got to hang out with some other awesome music YouTubers. And I don't know exactly what today holds, but I think I'm gonna start it off by making some music. People always ask me why I paint my nails, and there are a lot of different reasons actually. Today, it's to match my modular synthesizer. I'm gonna sit out on this nice, overexposed hotel balcony and make a patch using a bunch of sounds that I've collected throughout this trip. Go for it. Go for it. future, for those of you who are interested, I thought I would do a little patch walkthrough. I actually attempted one while I was in Montreux, but I kind of rushed through it because I just wanted to go out and do Montreux stuff. So I've got the synth here, same modules in it, though I did pull out the patch cords before I took my trip home. So this isn't gonna be like a crazy detailed walkthrough, but just giving you the general principles of how I approached making what you just heard. So all those samples I showed you, I loaded up onto a flash drive and put that into Qubit's Nebulae. This is the newest module in my collection. It uses granular synthesis, so it's manipulating tiny little pieces of audio, and it can do this with samples you load in on the flash card or with live audio that you feed into it. So as an example, here is an Mbira sample, and actually this was recorded by Greg. Remember Greg?
Oh.
Greg actually works with Qubit sometimes and has made a bunch of the samples that come on the Nebulae. This is one of them. There are those chains from that art exhibit. Greg and I went to the Tate, and that exhibit was disturbing, man. Anyway, all of these parameters I've been showing you, including the file selection, can be controlled with CV. So I was using the Erica Synths Pico Sequence and Pico Random to generate basically just a bunch of different random signals. The sequencer has a random button that will just make a new random sequence to the length that you've set. I was feeding all of those different voltages to the Nebulae to just kind of generate those glitching artifacts in that beat. So it kept switching files, playing back little grains of it, pitch shifting those grains, maybe reversing them sometimes. And then the drums were all from this Pico Drums module and the Make Noise Tempi. Tempi is an interesting module because you basically just tap tempo, regular rhythms, for each of its 6 channels, and they will be quantized to the overall tempo that you can set. So I had a regular, I guess it would be a half note beat, triggering that snare to go on 2 and 4. And then for the kicks, to get this never quite repeating sort of wonky feel, I had a bunch of different rhythms on different channels, and I jumbled them. Jumbling meaning that the rhythms of each channel can be switched between each other. And what's extra fun is you can use a jumbled channel to self-jumble, leading to more interesting rhythms. It's definitely on the far edge of wonky. So that was the patch. It was this generative, glitchy beat sort of thing, and the chords were added later in Ableton because, unfortunately, there is only so much you can do with a system so little. Travel friendly, though. Okay, back to Montreux. What are we doing right now?
We're doing a podcast.
A podcast. So if this is out when this is out... Guys, I'm here with Rachel K. Collier, who you probably have seen, you might remember from the 4 Producers Flip the Same Sample video.
Thanks for having me, Andrew. I love doing that. That was a lot of fun.
We were just talking about how we've managed to stay in touch. We met at Loop, and we've just been friends since then. And like, we worked on a project together. Now we're both in Montreux at the same time.
Yeah.
Is there a music producer challenge, either recently or just at any point that you overcame? And how did you do that?
Oh yeah, getting the sound of the vocal, not just the sound, so like the basic EQ compression and you know, the things you put on first and foremost, but actually the creative part. So like the reverbs and the delays and, you know, and like, because in my tracks I sort of will vary the reverbs and delays through the sections. So like my music, it's not like a classic sort of Florence and the Machine Adele that, you know, they've got their whatever EMT 140 classic reverb on there and that's it. Mine will vary.
Bigger in the chorus.
Yeah, and I'll automate them.
Yeah, get like a little accent here.
Yeah, so automate your reverbs, automate the decays. What I've learned really is just to make sure, just keep don't give up and just keep experimenting.
All these little details that you start paying more attention to as you become a better producer, it does start feeling like there's more work, because you used to just be like, okay, I put
That's
reverb on
fine,
the vocal,
yeah.
and now it's done. And now you're like, oh, but to really like keep ears interested as it goes on, or make it special, like you do want to automate these details.
Of course.
And, yeah,
You
so
can
it
get
is a great
quite
tip.
bogged down in it, actually. Like you really can.
Okay, Montreux is over. It's very sad, and I'm packing up, but Paul Davis and Rachel K. Collier had to come over and play with the modular synthesizer.
I'm gonna put an out of the drum and put it somewhere and think, and maybe it will make one.
They don't know what they're doing at all. Okay, I think this might be where I end the video. Bye, guys. Actually, one more thing. I just learned that some tracks that I made are now live in YouTube's audio library. If you don't know what that is, it's like a free collection of music that you can just use in your videos. No worries about copyright or anything. I'll put more info about that in the description. Check it out. You can use my music in any of your videos. Okay, bye for real.